Hello and welcome to BQ Prime. A very good morning to all the viewers. Clearly, in terms of where markets go, we are above those 19,550 levels in trade, but there is a pretty flattish mood coming in terms of the financial names in trade today. To discuss more in terms of stock-specific action, joining us on the show is Mr. G. Chokkalingam. Welcome to the show, Mr. Chokkalingam, and a very good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Chokkalingam, let's start with a few of names which are actually in focus from the large cap space. Firstly, you have Reliance Industries, on the back of the annual general report. On the annual report that was released, a couple of updates that have come in on the renewable energy space, the retail business in terms of the scale up that they're looking at, as well as if you talk about the Geo Financial Services listing, which is expected soon. What is your view on a Reliance, and firstly, a good time to enter?
Certainly, yes. In fact, officially we have a buy report on Reliance. Before in the AGM, the management talked about the value creation and doubling the value by 27. Same thing we have been saying that the stock could double in next 3 to 4 years, because the Reliance industry is emerging as an economy, mini economy in itself, and also reducing the share of traditional business like oil and gas, which is likely to increase the valuation multiple, particularly the new businesses like retail, e-commerce, new commerce. All this would improve the valuation multiple. So apart from the new businesses contributing to the bottom line, they would also contribute to the shareholders' wealth by upgrading the valuation multiple itself. So I still maintain that view. My target was 5,000 rupees after a demerger of Geo Financial. Now our target is around 4,700. I expect this to happen in 3 to 4 years, and this is the best Sensex Nifty stock in my view. I would give a buy call even at the current prices.
Right. So that's with regards to Reliance Industries in trade. Moving on, M&M reported numbers as well. Overall, with regards to their strategy from here on, what's your view?
Yeah, I mean its performance in SUV is really phenomenal, and the only concern is that tractor industry. But however, the stock trades only around 90 P on 1 year forward earning. I would believe that those who are holding the stock, they can continue to hold. It can give another at least 7 to 8% return in the short term.
Right. So that's with regards to where M&M goes. From the FMCG pack, you have a Britannia that reported numbers. What's the sense that you pick up for the FMCG pack as a whole? Because there has been a good run-up as well in terms of these consumption stocks. What would you advise investors to do with a Britannia?
Yes. Great company has delivered great numbers, but I have little worry in the short term. That is because of wheat prices going up, which is an important ingredient for biscuit industry. So I believe that Q2 result may not be in line with the robust performance they posted in Q1. So therefore, I would suggest wait for some correction in the wheat prices, or some another 5% at least correction in the Britannia stock before buying Britannia.
Right. So moving on, Bank of Baroda reported numbers from the financial space as well. How are you looking at it? Because clearly now you are seeing profit booking that's coming in specifically with regards to banking names and the PSU banking space as a whole. So taking the market dynamics as well as the fundamentals into consideration, what would you advise investors to do with the Bank of Baroda?
Those who are holding can hold. If somebody wants to buy, they can buy, expecting anywhere from 5 to 10% return. For three reasons. So one, the industry headwinds are in favor of the industry. The credit growth is about 16%, which is close to 10-year record high level. And second, the quality of asset also 10-year record high level in terms of net NPA bottoming out at 10-year low. And specific to the bank, it has grown the credit at around 20% year on year, which is a phenomenon for a public sector bank, because the industry growth itself is around 15%, on an average. And lastly, the bank is trading at around 1 time adjusted book value. So obviously, for this kind of size and this kind of performance, definitely worst case also one can give 1.1 time price to adjusted book value, which would mean there is another 10% upside for the stock of Bank of Baroda.
Right. Cement companies have been in focus as well ahead of the elections. A lot of people are betting big on cement players, but the pricing is something that everyone is concerned about. What would you advise investors to do with the Orient cement?
I looked at the numbers, quite attractive, no doubt, in terms of EV to cement capacity per ton, and in terms of balance sheet also, the least leveraged company. Those who are holding can hold for another 10-15% upside. But my bias is in favor of KCP Limited, another cement company. That company trades at enterprise value per ton of around $45-48. And we have seen the kind of valuation the Sunny industry has commanded, which is above $100 per ton. But most importantly, the KCP Limited is a diversified company. It has got highly profitable sugar business in Vietnam, which makes a couple of 100 crores of profits. And it has got a hotel, profit-making hotel in Hyderabad. And it has got an engineering division in Chennai, which has got a huge land bank. And it has got a limestone renew for another nearly 30 years. So all this make extremely deep value stock. So personally also, I just started buying KCP Limited in line with compliance. And this is the stock I believe it has about 5-10% downside risk, but if it clicks, it can be a multiplier also in the next 2 to 3 years.
Right. Moving on, you had Sun Pharma, which recently reported numbers. Clearly, if you see from a company perspective, they've committed to a FY24 revenue guidance, and analysts have been really positive on the counter as well. What's your view?
Yeah, it's been a very good performance. We have seen the kind of pain many export companies have been going through in the pharma space. In that sense, this performance is good. But the stock also moved up a lot. The conservative investors can continue to hold because I am extremely bullish on the Indian market in the medium to long term. But the next 4 to 5 months, I have a little worry on the market. So therefore, conservative investors can continue to hold and reduce the focus on small and mid cap, particularly the overpriced stock. So in a relative sense, yes, Sun Pharma is a hold. Otherwise, for a little risk-taking people, they can move on to some other value stock which has a high alpha potential.
Right. Mr. Chokkalingam, you're Aditya Birla Fashion that reported the first quarter numbers. They've reported a net loss of 162 crores versus a profit number in the previous quarter. What do you make of the company, and what would you advise investors to do? Because the margins have been a drag as well. And if you see brokerage views, it's a pretty mixed opinion that's coming in.
In fact, I have been, giving a sell research call on this company for the last 3 years. Because I come from a different investment learning. So if I don't see the bottom line, I don't try to give too much of price for a stock. And last 3-4 years, it has never made any significant profit. Of course, we have nothing in front of the industries to know the business. But still, as an analyst, I was always surprised that before they could turn around, they have been going after one after other so many acquisitions. And in the process, ending up increasing the fixed cost, namely interest and depreciation, and bleeding the bottom line. This is not in line with my personal approach of investing in the equity market. If anybody is stuck with the stock, yeah, you hold it because on top line there is some growth in the revenue, around 11% growth is there. So there is a distant possibility of turning around making, but not in the short term, maybe after 1 or 2 years. So otherwise, any fresh investment, I would stay away because, as I said, I also expect some correction in the market. So it's not the time to buy, the loss-making stocks at this juncture.
Right. And the last stock I want to discuss with you is the Repco Home Finance. What's your view on the housing finance companies and specifically a Repco Home?
Yeah, housing finance companies, in general, in specific, and also NBFCs, including the gold loan and consumer lending, it is getting crowded now. There are so many finance banks, payment banks, consolidation of the PSU banks, cooperative bank turned the commercial banks, then NBFCs. That's tremendous competition to look for, the borrowers. So the valuation multiples are contracted including for Repco, which is now around 1.1 time price to adjusted book value. So in my view, it looks attractive, but then because of the competitive paradigm shifting in adverse manner to most players, small players, I would say that hold it. If another 5-10% return comes, then that stock would be fairly valued and one should sell.
Right. So that's with regards to Repco Home Finance. Thank you, Mr. Chokkalingam, so much for joining us on the show and sharing those views. So clearly, a lot of stock-specific action is what we're witnessing in trade as we speak. But from the day's highest levels of 19,585, we have started to cool off. Where this takes us to is going to be interesting. M&M, Divis Laboratories, Sun Pharma, NTPC, as well as Grasim, these continue to be the top leaders. So clearly, there is that action that has continued in the pharma space as well today, whereas Britannia has been trading under pressure on the back of earnings. And to mirror that, you have a Nestle, which is down as well. SBI on the back of earnings has been trading under pressure, as well as you have a Bajaj Finance and a ONGC, which are down in trade. In fact, if you see in terms of other names, a Paytm is an interesting one to watch out for as well in today's session. Good moves coming in on that counter. Zomato is another one which has seen some smart moves in today's session. In fact, if you talk about Zomato as well, it actually hit 100 mark in today's session as well. DB Realty at 12.5% up move. HFCL is again seeing some smart moves with a Sterlite Tech. Morpin Laboratories is another one. Aditya Birla Fashion, we've already spoken about. Fortis is trading under pressure. Adani Green is also trading under pressure. So these are the few stock-specific action that we have been tracking during the day. But clearly, the markets are in the positive. But will we see profit booking in the second half of the trading session or not is something we need to wait and watch. That's all that we have on this session. Thanks for watching, and lots more lined up during the day. Please stay tuned to BoB.